welcome. Yes, despite my most recent cancellation, I still have the guts to show my face. And you might be wondering, Angelina, what did you do this time? Well, my friends, my crime is that I accused YG of inventing nature in my Itzy review. But it's fine because YG also invented fire. I will be accepting no counter arguments to this. But yes, in today's video, we'll be talking about KQ Entertainment, home of Ateez, calling out misinformation seemingly caused by fan wars, Cignature losing 2 members, IZ*ONE's official disbandment, JYP receiving backlash for Mafia in the morning, rumors of Blackpink's Lisa appearing on Kingdom, as well as SF9 and Itzy dating rumors, but please keep in mind, these are rumors. I mean, if they end up being true, wow, but these feel like very much of a stretch, which is why I wanted to talk about them. So if you're interested in this type of video, then please keep on watching. You can also scroll through to whatever interests you the most, as I have separated this video into super fancy segments. Otherwise, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also join my channel memberships or my newly opened Patreon to get more exclusive content. So first up, we have KQ Entertainment, home of Ateez, in the news after releasing a statement about the spread of misinformation. And from what I've read online, this comes from a rumor that KQ Entertainment was actually a subsidiary of CJENM, or somehow KQ Entertainment was linked to Mnet in one way or another. And if you think about it, being connected to these companies isn't really an issue on its own, but when you take into consideration the fact that Ateez is on Kingdom right now, one of Mnet's shows, then of course people would assume that Ateez have special privileges. So from there, we had a lot of people questioning the legitimacy of the show, people saying that it's rigged, and of course people spreading false information and so on. And a lot of people attributing all of this to the fan wars that have come from Kingdom, notably between Ateez's fandom, Ateez, and Stray Kids fandom stays, which I've surprisingly kept my nose out of. But that's at least the narrative that I've seen going around. As for KQ, this is the statement that they have released. They start off by saying that KQ manages several partnerships with various domestic and international companies in various fields, but operates independently and are not under the influence of a specific company. They then go on to address that there are specific YouTubers who have spread misinformation and people leaving comments in online music communities that recklessly share false information and various rumors about our artists based on the speculation that we are a subsidiary or a sub-label of a specific company. They say that they hadn't really corrected the information previously, but for the sake of their own reputation, for their artist's reputation, as well as the psychological health of their fans. They have actually asked the specific YouTubers who have spread that misinformation to actually correct said misinformation, and if they don't, then legal action will be taken. They also asked fans to send any evidence to help with this. So if you see anyone spreading misinformation, you can send it to KQ Entertainment and so on. Ending with, the agency will strive to protect our artists' rights and reputation and do our best for their active promotions, growth, and development. Thank you. As for how fans are reacting to this statement, many are actually happy that KQ have stepped up and denounced the false information that has been going around because many of them had noticed it themselves. With a lot of people praising KQ for always releasing statements quite quickly when necessary, and even pointing to the fact that the company addressed that these rumors would not only affect their own artists, but affect fans' well-being as well, which was quite interesting. So now a lot of children are worried that they're going to get sued. But the thing is, if you're really that worried, I mean, it seems like KQ is giving people the opportunity to correct the misinformation that they're spreading. And if you don't, then the legal action will ensue. So, like, I wouldn't be too worried if you're actually worried. I think this whole thing is actually super interesting, and this is my opinion from now on. But the narrative that's going around on Twitter, I feel like is a little different from the narrative that KQ is telling us, because KQ is saying there are specific YouTubers who have spread the misinformation, while on Twitter it seems like it's just like fueling the fan where people are saying now, well, it's Stays are the ones who have been spreading this information and KQ is going to sue Stays. But this definitely does tie into the fandom wars that I've been seeing a lot of on Twitter, on TikTok, and so on. I'm not trying to diminish what is going on in the fandom. Obviously, there's a lot of really terrible things being said, but I think people are just getting freaked out about getting sued when they're likely not the demographic that is going to get sued, particularly because in KQ's statement, they're talking about specific YouTubers that have been spreading misinformation. My point is, I just think someone saying that they don't like Jongho's high note, you know, they're not going to get sued. Like, you're not going to get sued because you don't like a performance. But definitely let me know what you think of all of this in the comments below. Next up, we have Cignature in the news because they've lost 2 of their members. So for those who don't know, Cignature is a newly debuted group. Like, they literally debuted in 2020. But their company, J9 Entertainment, have recently released the following statement. While preparing for Cignature's March comeback, Yeah and Sun stated that they will no longer be active as Cignature members, stating that they consulted with the 2 members in question, their parents, and so on, and decided to terminate their contracts with no conditions. Which, if you've heard anything about K-pop contracts, I mean, it's pretty difficult to get out of your contract. I've seen a lot of idols spend a lot of time and money and just a lot of heartache just to get out of their contracts, and then at the end of it all being denied a contract termination anyways. So it's definitely quite curious, but they continue on by saying, "We are sorry to have caused a disturbance with such sudden news. We ask that you continue to take interest in and show support for Cignature. Thank you." So I did want to open this up to discussion a little bit because, again, it is a little bit curious how it was so easy to get out of these contracts. Obviously, I haven't read the contracts. I don't know the details of these contracts. You know, obviously losing 2 members in your group isn't necessarily the best thing for your group. Of course, fans are wishing them well, but people are genuinely curious, especially since the company was more than vague about the reason as to why the members were leaving in the first place. Simply stating that there was a discussion about it with the members themselves and their parents, but really leaving fans in the dark, which ultimately has led them to not only worry, but to speculate as well. So definitely let me know your theories. Do you think it's something fishy going on with the company? Or maybe do you think they just weren't a good fit anymore and the company was very understanding of that? Which is a little bit unheard of, but maybe it's possible. But from now on, Cignature will continue on as a 5-member girl group. Now, before we move on to my rumor corner, which is a newly added segment, let's talk about IZ*ONE. So I was never really a hardcore fan of IZ*ONE, but I definitely appreciated them. And this, of course, comes as unsurprising, but nevertheless very sad news that they have officially disbanded. Especially for fans who might have still had a tiny glimpse of hope that maybe, just maybe, they would have broken the rules and renewed their contract somehow. For some context, IZ*ONE was a group created through a survival show called Produce 48, and they had a 2.5-year contract. So they were always supposed to be a temporary group. There was never any promise that they would continue on forever. But even though that was common knowledge, it was like, I feel like it's still very bittersweet. And that's kind of why I never fell head over heels for the group, because, you know, they had an inevitable end. But, like, you know, reality literally could have been like anything that these companies wanted it to be. Like, they could have been, it doesn't matter. So they had their final online concert, and we saw 3 of their Japanese members return to Japan. So it's quite bittersweet to see this group end. But I'm very excited to see where each member ends up. For a long time, people thought that Yunho would eventually end up joining Everglow because she was under their company beforehand. So let me know what you think. What are your predictions for each of the members? Let me know in the comments down below. Now let us move on to a little segment that I like to call Kpop Shenanigans, which is basically fun little things that have happened in K-pop this week. We have the drama called Imitation that will be coming out soon, featuring the groups Thanxx and Sparkling, among other groups. But I did want to ask you guys a question, because this seems to be the recurring question amongst the ATEEZ fandom and a lot of people. Team Thanxx or Team Sparkling? Which would you choose? These are basically the fictional groups within the drama. So I wanted to ask you guys, I have more biases in Sparkling, so I feel like default I have to pick Sparkling, but let me know which team you are on. Who are you rooting for? And it also seems that Tea Party, another fictional group from the show, as well as Thanxx, will actually be performing in real life on KBS's Music Bank on April 30th and May 7th respectively, which people have actually been praising for the show's very interesting marketing tactics. We also have BTS, who have announced their comeback with Butter. Yes, Butter. Now, I've seen a lot of people clowning this. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like a fun and cute comeback, and I'm not really opposed to it. And we can anticipate this comeback on May 21st, right before their collaboration gets released with McDonald's. Speaking of anticipated comebacks, we can also expect TXT's new album, The Chaos Chapter Freeze, on May 31st. We also have Twice, who performed Cry For Me on The Kelly Clarkson Show, and ENHYPEN, who have their comeback with Drunk Dazed. Lastly, we have Lisa and 10, who danced to Kick Back on Instagram, which actually comes from Lisa's show Youth With You, where the trainees on the show learned the choreography to this wavy song, and she revealed that she actually learned the choreography herself from 10, who is a part of Wavy. But on to the memes. So previously I had, meme of the week. I would pick a meme and show it to you guys, but I wanted to start collecting memes and then, have a little meme review corner in this here news show. So please send me memes, send me TikToks, whatever the case. These are mostly TikToks. But you can definitely send them to me over on my Instagram account. As well, if you want to suggest some Kpop shenanigans, if you want to suggest specific news things that you want me to cover, you can send me a DM over on Instagram, provided I'm not getting canceled. I'm kidding. So the first meme we have is Yunho and Imitation. It's a screenshot from one of the trailers. And it says, "Me waiting for my mom to finish talking to her friends at the function." Used to be relatable. Then we have, I thought he was supposed to be a subway worker, and it's Hongjoong behind a subway counter. Oh boy, I have a feeling these are all going to be Ateez memes unless you guys send me some good ones. Oh my god. Then we have Hongjoong as Regina George. Oh my god, I do not want this individual to get any hate, because I know when it comes to saying that someone paved the way, the stans get really mad, but this was so funny.
Yeah, so BTS totally paved the way for K-pop. BTS paved the way for K-pop? I mean, yeah, that's why everyone's totally obsessed with it right now. Okay, where was BTS in 2009 when they were obsessed with G? No, his name's Yoongi.
Oh my god, if this person could put this on Instagram Reels so I could use this audio. I'm a little scared of TikTok. I want to post TikToks. I'm a little scared of TikTok. Hongjoong Thanxx stage outfit be like. Okay, but Thxsan goes well in this group. Orange caramel. Okay, so now let's talk about JYP. Because it seems a lot of people have been talking about JYP, and a lot of people have been hating on JYP because of Itzy's comeback. So I released my review on Itzy's comeback around 2 days ago, where I talked about the Mafia issue itself, where people were calling out the association with the concept of Mafia problematic and so on. And it seems like that type of discussion is still going on, and a lot of Italian fans not wanting to support this comeback for a variety of reasons in regards to that Mafia concept. However, a newly added reason that people are mad at JYP is because of how bad they think the song is. Now, obviously, music is super subjective and all of that jazz. And in fact, this tends to happen a lot, especially for the bigger groups. The bigger a group gets, the more backlash there is, because I feel like the negative voices far outweigh the positive voices. And people always go after the producer because, sometimes there is a little bit of truth to this, but people refuse to associate anything bad to their idols. So if the song sucks, then it has to be the producer's fault, and the group is not to blame. Even if the group might love the song, even if the group poured their blood, sweat, and tears into the song, it's not the group's fault, it's the producer's fault. Can you imagine being Itzy and loving Mafia in the morning, and it being your baby, it's your song, and everyone being this song sucks. It's not your fault though, but the song sucks. But I mean, we've seen this before. We've seen Teddy get shit on so much, especially for How You Like That. Can you imagine thinking back about how much people hated How You Like That? But I've always thought that Itzy songs are growers, not showers. But it seems if you look across social media platforms, mostly Twitter and TikTok, the harsher ones. I feel like if you go on Instagram, overwhelmingly people are asking about Hyunjin more than anything. You might find one comment what was that Itzy comeback? But more or less on Twitter, people are definitely directing their anger towards JYP, demanding that JYP stop producing songs for Itzy because they're just really not liking it. And this is just my opinion. I'm really curious if you think JYP is such a bad producer and that he gives Itzy nothing but terrible songs. Why do you like Itzy? I'm just genuinely curious if you think all of Itzy's songs are so bad. Why do people stan groups if you really do not like their discographies? There are plenty of groups where I'm their energy is so good, their performances are so good, but their discography just really isn't it for me, and I end up really not standing those groups. So I'm really curious about your opinions on this. Do you really think JYP is just a shit producer? Miss A exists, so I can't say anything. But yes, let us end off with our little rumor corner. So these are strictly rumors. There is nothing that really leads me to believe that any of these are true in any way, so I need to make that abundantly clear. But one of the rumors that is actually kind of exciting, that I don't think is going to happen, but the thought is really exciting, is that people think that Lisa will appear on Kingdom. So again, Kingdom is Mnet's show that features SF9, Ateez, The Boys, B2B, and iKON, one of YG's groups. Now, do I think this is plausible? Absolutely not. Mnet and YG have just mended their relationship. I think it would be asking way too much to have Lisa on the show. I mean, Blackpink really don't appear anywhere, so just no. But basically, the rumor stems from the fact that, historically on this show, at least for Queendom, people have had, special guests, celebrity guests. So if you remember, Bom was on Queendom and she had a special guest. But it's really funny seeing fans talk about this, like, well, if iKON bring Lisa onto Kingdom, then it's really not iKON's fault if they place first because they have a secret weapon. Like, it's not their fault. But here's the thing, I really wouldn't put it past Mnet to tease something alluding to the fact that a Blackpink member might appear on the show, and then it ends up that it's really not a Blackpink member, because they've done this before. They did this in Queendom, actually. So back to Bom, one of her performances, she was going to feature someone, and they teased this. They teased this for the next episode. A special performer was going to come into her performance. And everyone and their mothers thought it was going to be a 21 member. They blurred out this person's face. We were all clowned into thinking it was going to be a 21 member. Probably everyone thought it was going to be like Dada or CL. And then it was Cheetah. And not that there's anything wrong with Cheetah, but it's really shitty for the special guest when everyone is thinking it's going to be someone else, and then you come in and it's like, well, we really were not expecting you. So though I don't think the rumor is legit, I don't think Lisa will appear on Kingdom, I wouldn't put it past Mnet to tease Lisa appearing on Kingdom, and then she doesn't. And lastly, there's another rumor which is quite random, probably because of how ridiculous it seems, at least to me, and that is that Yeji or Taeyong from Itzy is dating Yeonbin from SF9. And that's the thing, like, people don't know if it's Yeji or Taeyong. People are like so wearing that it's Yeji, and then while other people are like, no, it's definitely Taeyong. But like, either way, it feels really fishy to me. So people have definitely pointed out the fact that both groups are super busy. I mean, Itzy have just had their comeback, SF9 are doing Kingdom, and it would be really weird for them to just be out in the open, like very open like that. Not weird in the sense that they shouldn't do that. I think idols should be able to live their lives, but odd in the sense that it's a little bit unprecedented. Odd in the sense that the last city rumor that we saw come out was between Jennie and G-Dragon, and we didn't even see a picture of them together. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like idols are very careful because it could really affect their careers. Not that it should, not that their privacy should be invaded in that way, but just because that tends to be how things are. So that was definitely a weird rumor that I was seeing on TikTok and Instagram and these pictures going around. But I really don't see this as plausible in any sense of the way. But yeah, that is basically all of the news from this week. Thank you so much if you made it this far, if you did not skip. I see you in my analytics, don't worry. For those wondering where my Kingdom ranking is, it is coming out on Tuesday, and then my end of the month review should be out on Thursday. I'm sorry they were a little bit late, but I am not a robot, and there's just a lot going on this week. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget you can join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or if you prefer Patreon, I have opened one of those up as well, so you can click the link in the description. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. But as for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!